Okay, we're at the old Spanish monastery in North Miami Beach. Going to try to spare the over-the-top platitudes and adjectives and just start off by saying, wow. This building was built in Spain in 1133, commissioned by King Alfonso, I think, of Castile. There were multiple kingdoms in Spain at that time, so he was one of them. It's a small village in Spain. In 1925, William Hearst bought this building from whomever over there, and I guess he made him an offer they couldn't refuse. And a team of workers painstakingly deconstructed and marked this building so that it would be able to be reconstructed. So these blocks were shipped over here. They sat, according to the brochures, they sat in New York for many years until after the death of Hearst. Bought by somebody, I forget his name, and brought down here to reconstruct on this site. Apparently he had financial issues. He sold it to somebody else. That guy and his team rebuilt this thing into what you're seeing right now. This build is the oldest building on the continent, and justifiably so. It just, was rebuilt fairly recently in time, but it was initially built almost 1,000 years ago. Just incredible. You can see some of the marks. You can imagine the difficulty you'd have tearing apart 700 or 800-year-old concrete and stone, and you'd have chips in it in some places. You just couldn't help it. But I mean, to have rebuilt this thing, keeping these various sculptures, bas-relief, if I'm pronouncing that even remotely correctly, were incredible. This is supposed to be Alfonso, but he lost his head, or somebody took it.
Yes. Considered a tall man, he stood at 5 feet. That's little. Because it does say it's...
These corbel are all bearing the coat of arms of Spanish nobility, each one of them of that time. Each one of them are different, unique from the other. Really cool stuff. This is the part of the hallways, obviously, and the courtyard. That's new, so we're not even going to bother with it. This is really cool. This is original. And they had different prayer areas. When we go back out, we'll look at, there's two walled up doorways where it was their dormitory, and apparently that didn't make the trip or didn't get rebuilt, but it's just walled up. It would have been, back in the day, would have had a doorway there, and that's where they would have gone to sleep. Or maybe even write and do their various chores. I don't know what this is, but this looks like some sort of Aztec type thing. This is Alfonso II, also. And here's the walled up dormitory area. There's two of these. One down there and one up here. Here's a chapel, church, sanctuary, whatever we're calling it, depending on what denomination you are. Well, they shut the air off. The last time I was in here, they had air in it. This is really cool. I love this bas relief here. Really well done, ornate, detailed type of deal. There's a depiction of baby Christ. And you can see there's somebody who lost their head and their face. Must have been in the transition. Can't imagine how difficult it would have been to keep all that together. Almost impossible. The fact that they did it was just staggering. And here's St. Bernard. Apparently this is named after him, but I don't really know the saints that well. They hold a lot of weddings. You can see at us various other events here. And so there's a ton of people outside of the ordinary tourists that you'd find at a site like this. This is the courtyard. Of course, the only thing that would be original here would be the outside of this hallway area here. I imagine, you'd get quite chilly up in this thing during the winter. They had a heck of a winter too. Really, really cool. It's so ornate to begin with, and then they reconstructed it. And when I came in, there was somebody having a confab about coming in here dressed up because they didn't want to pay the full price to do that. And to come in here and take family pictures and everything, you got to pay extra. So it's an interesting deal. I didn't see this before. I didn't photograph it either. Coat of arms of Alfonso VII. Pretty neat stuff. Coat of arms were critical to the nobility back in those days. I mean, even now, the upper crust have their coats of arms and family history. Basically, that's what it is. It tells the tale of the family. Uncle Bob did one for us years ago. I don't know whatever became of it, but we have one. So we're not going to go all around the whole thing. We saw the front of it. The back of it's pretty much covered in shrubs, and sides are as well. So we're going to shut her down.